Hey everyone, how you guys doing tonight or in the morning or afternoon or wherever you are in the world or whatever time you're watching? I have a very special guest tonight. This is a really interesting case. It has started to pick up steam a little while ago, but then it kind of just fizzled out. And I don't really know why. David Schultz went missing. He was a truck driver out of Iowa. Went missing on November 20th, 2023, and his truck was turned the wrong way. You know, like a lot of these cases we talk about, seemingly vanished into thin air, right? We're going to have his wife join us. She is running just a little bit behind, so I can talk for a couple minutes till she gets here. I don't have a bit of problem with that at all. So with that being said, since I have been told a lot that I'm not good at promoting stuff that I do outside of this, I'm going to just do that real quick. For those of y'all who aren't aware, I have a podcast. It is called 50 Words for Murder. You can get to it by going to justontiktok.com, which is scrolling across the screen there. And it used to be when I first started about once a month, but since we've been doing this a lot more often, I've been taking a lot of these interviews and pulling the audio for those of y'all who can't sit and watch them, you know, but you want to know the information so you can listen to them in your car, your walk, whatever, you know, that you're doing. So if you want to check that out, we definitely have some great episodes that were there prior to YouTube and even, since then. So please, go check that out. The next thing that I want to share with you guys is a lot of y'all may or may not be aware of. I know true crime and children's books, they go hand in hand, right? So I did write a couple children's books. This one is called Boundaries. If you are no contact, limited contact with a parent or a family member, this is a way to, explain that to them in a way that doesn't vilify that person and then go into teaching the importance of boundaries. This one is available now. You can order it off TikTok Shop or through justontiktok.com in hardcover or softcover. Both of those are in any case. Any book that you buy from me directly, meaning TikTok Shop or the website, I will sign. If you buy it through my website, you have a place that you can actually write in there if you want me to personalize it to anybody. I can do that as well. And then coming out soon is this one. Actually, we'll get into soft covers of this in probably toward the end of the month, the week of the 22nd. It's called Surprises Are Okay, Secrets Or Not. Given that I cover a lot of true crime, my daughter is just really going to be in a lot of trouble as far as not being able to do a whole lot of things. And, this is one of those things that I want to make sure that she knows and that other kids know that, hey, if an adult specifically tries to get you to keep a secret, don't do it. This book also has a piece at the end of it where you can have a conversation with your child. When I first wrote it and tested it out with my daughter, we had a 30-minute conversation. She's 4.5, about things that she thinks shouldn't be kept secret, things that adults shouldn't ask her, things like that. And then on the page after that, it's got some examples that you can open up a dialogue with your kid if there's anything specific that you want to talk about. And again, you can order this. This is available for pre-order now through justontiktok.com. So all of that stuff's out of the way. Now, I have not been doing a lot on YouTube until recently, and now we are. So make sure if you are a first time here, you follow me on TikTok, whatever, make sure to smash that follow button or I guess the subscribe button here. Smash that subscribe button. And yeah, we're going to do some more of this stuff. We're going to do a lot more of this stuff. We have some great interviews coming up. And this next week, I'm going to be out of town most of the week, but on Friday, right now, as of Thursday, I have an interview with, a man by the name of Eric Ullis scheduled. I may have to push that a little bit, but we'll see. And he is basically the foremost lead investigator on the DB Cooper case. If you don't know what the DB Cooper case is, you should. It is probably the most awesome case in American history, where you're not mad. You like that the guy got away, and so definitely check that out. When we have it going. And then I have also on Saturday, we push it to Saturday, Jennifer Santinello, her daughter Layla Santinello went missing from Tennessee. Big surprise, guys. Somebody missing from Tennessee, big surprise. But went missing from Tennessee. Police aren't really doing a whole lot to help with it. So, she needs help. She needs support. We're trying to get her some of that. The other thing real quick I want to share with y'all, this is actually kind of some big news on something that we did the other day. If y'all were here for the interview that I did with Casey Robinson, her sister, Jennifer Wicks, and niece, Adriana Wicks, who was 2 years old at the time of their disappearance 20 years ago, police recently went and did a raid, served a warrant on the house, the property that she was last at. possibly in relation, possibly not in relation to the disappearance. We don't know. They've been very cryptic about that. But what we do know is that the father, not the father of Adriana, but the father of Jennifer's boyfriend, was arrested, and he's got a lot of charges against him. 45 charges, including exploitation. You know what kind of exploitation, y'all. You know what kind of a minor. 45 charges they hit him with today. So he's going to be in jail for a while. Hopefully that ends up coming up for her. If you've not seen that interview, you can find that one. The interview with Seth that we did the other night, which has been blowing up on YouTube, obviously there. You can see it. If you don't have time again to listen to these, the audio is being pulled and put on the podcast. So at this point, I'm still waiting for Sarah to get here. I know we've been texting. She said she's running just a few minutes late. Should be here any minute. So let me kind of explain to you what's going on with this case. And again, what happened was there was a David Schultz. Let me get a picture of David up here for you guys real quick. Let me get a picture of them. It's a beautiful family. Let me get this put up here. So that's David, Sarah Schultz, and their kids. They also had, let me get this one pulled up. This is such a cute picture, the one that I saw. Give me 1 second here. Just want to show you all this picture. It's great that she sent it over. They're twins. Give me 1 second. It doesn't, there we go. Sarah should be here any minute. There we go. So really cute picture there. But, he went missing. He was 53 years old. The last time he was seen picking up a load of livestock from Eagle Grove, Iowa. His truck was then found on November 21st, 2023, and it was facing away. He was headed towards Sac County, Iowa, which is where he was supposed to be delivering his load, but his truck was facing in the opposite direction, which is really weird. It's strange. That doesn't really happen for truck drivers, right? Really strange. His phone was left. His wallet was left. His wife was trying to find him. She placed over 30 phone calls. No response. She ends up reporting him missing around 2:30 p.m. And then 30 minutes later, she gets a call from his phone. And on the other line, she thought it was David. So she's like, "Oh, finally, where are you?" And it wasn't David. It was an officer. And she told her that we found your husband's truck, his wallet, his phone, but he's not here. And so Sarah's been posting every day on her Facebook account. She hopes to God that he's alive, but her gut tells her that she's not. But she wants him found. She wants answers. She deserves answers. And it's another situation where the police aren't really doing what they're supposed to. So I'm still waiting for her to get here, guys, as we're doing. And he was an owner operator. He was very proud of it. He was also restoring this old Peterbilt truck, a yellow Peterbilt truck. And his family hasn't seen him. He's got kids. He's got a wife. She's been holding it down. So it's been tough. It's been tough. It's a case that it definitely needs a lot of attention, right? When it happened back in November, late November, at the end of the year, last year, it did pick up a lot of steam. It picked up a lot of traction. And then all of a sudden, it just disappeared. There was no more information there. There hasn't really been a lot of updates since. And I know that Sarah and I have been, trying to connect. I'm glad we're finally able to do that. But she's got here, so let me bring her on. Hey, Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm glad it's Friday.
Yeah, I know we've played tag on this. I'm so glad to get to do this for you because I know that it's not really gotten a lot of traction. And this has been a case, this situation, it's been one that's kind of stuck in my mind for months at this point. I know it has for you. And it's frustrating because it seems like it had a lot of steam and momentum, and then all of a sudden law enforcement and everything just kind of stopped with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's normal, but I didn't get much support from law enforcement but yeah, that's the state of it.
It seems to kind of be the thing lately. If you follow any of these cases, which I'm guessing now, since you are unfortunately part of, for lack of a better word, a true crime story, you probably see a lot more of this. And you look at the cases that have been going on lately, and a lot of them aren't getting.
Yeah, I know,
It's
and there's no book, for those of us in this situation on what to do or how to handle it. We're all going in blind usually, I would imagine. Um, but I see a lot of cases in, surrounding states, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, and some of them have been found, and things you don't even think of, like, if they find remains, I'll call the area, the county where it's at, and I'll call law enforcement and give them details about my husband and ask if it could be him. And I've done that 3 times now, and just it's crazy because I don't know if the police are checking. I can't talk to them anymore because I had sought counsel from an attorney, and now they said they won't talk to, I can't. It's legally, we can't talk to each other now, which didn't really change anything, unfortunately. It was like almost laughable when they told me that.
Can they tell your attorney anything? Like,
No,
or will they?
I can't talk about it really. So
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, anything that you
yeah,
can't talk about, we want to respect your privacy on that. So if there's something you can't answer, just say, "Hey, I can't talk about that. That's part of the investigation," and we're totally cool to respect that. So
yeah. But no, I haven't had any updates. I only talked to the sheriff twice. Once he interviewed me, and once was that update that he posted, I think December 9th. But I talked to him with my lawyer in my lawyer's office with my mom and Dave's brother and my father-in-law, and they just gave the update that they posted basically. And they did view the video that they had of the footage at the gas station. I couldn't watch it because I thought, at first when I heard they had a picture, I thought I wanted to see it, and I saw it because I thought this isn't him, it's not him. And when I saw it was him, it was almost like looking at a ghost. So I couldn't watch the video. I wasn't meant. I couldn't handle it at that time, and I don't know if I still could.
you're not alone with that. So a lot of people who are in the situation you are, they can't do it. One person I reference a lot because he and I have become pretty good friends is Joe Petito. I'm sure you're familiar with that name. And like there was recent footage that just came out about his daughter, and he told his wife, who is was Gabby's stepmom, "I can't watch this. You watch this. You tell me what I need to know." She just can't do
Yeah,
it.
it's
And
too hard.
now I want to back up a little bit and introduce you. So you and Dave have 4 kids together, right? Is it 4?
No, we
Or is
have
it 2?
2. I had
Okay.
a daughter and a son previously, and Connor was in kindergarten. Sabrina was in like 3rd grade, I think, when Dave and I got together. And we knew right away we wanted to have children, but I'd already had my tubes tied after I had a boy and a girl. I thought I was done, and just basically because I got them tied because I'm so fertile. But so I did in vitro through my insurance covered it fully. I have really good health insurance
Awesome.
through my work. And so as soon as we got married, within 2 months, we were going to appointments, and I was pregnant by March, and they put 2 fertilized eggs in, and I took 2 fertilized eggs. So Dave, we really wanted kids. We went through that to have children. Um, I want to, accentuate that because he wouldn't have left his children ever. They they were his little ducklings. He brought him everywhere. He didn't like to be alone. He's very codependent. I People who think that he just walked off, he didn't just walk off. There's no way he walked off. Um, I I can't, and no one walks off without their wallet or their phone or their ID. He didn't just walk off.
Do you want to share with them? So for people who don't know the story, I was talking to about a little bit before you came on, the basic gist of it, that he went missing November 20th, 21st, 2023. He was an owner operator. He had picked up a load of pigs. He was going ready to deliver them. I think I just read Sac County, Iowa. But when he was found, his truck was facing the opposite direction. You would try to call him a bunch of times, to get no answer. And then finally somebody called from his phone. It was the police, and all of his stuff was there. And they basically said that he was not there. Is there anything that I missed out on that?
No, not really. I mean, that's the gist of it. They found his jacket that he was wearing, along with in the pocket of his jacket, he had a pocket knife that he always carried, and some rags that he uses to clean himself up. And that was in the ditch across the road. And when I say his truck was on the road, his truck was on the road. It was not pulled over. It was between the lines. It wasn't touching any yellow or any white lines. It was just stopped on the road. And it was loaded with pigs still, baby pigs. And there's no way he parked it there. There's no way he left it like that. There's no way. Truck drivers don't shut their truck off for anything until they're done at the end of the day. Even when they fuel, they don't shut their rigs off. He would have never shut it off and left. Like, he would have never parked it. My brother, I always say this one. My brother always said, if he was having a heart attack, he would have pulled over before he died. He would not. It's not safe to leave it on the road. And he has strong work ethic. He's proud to be a truck driver, and he wouldn't do something unsafe.
Yeah, my father-in-law is a truck driver, and they're some of the best drivers on the road, most of them.
Yes.
And you're 100% right. Where did he pick up the load from? The pig?
Eagle Grove, Iowa. So it was about an hour and a half, maybe, I think. Was the distance.
Easy trip.
Yeah, and he'd already done it once before that day. This was his second load to that place.
And how far away was he from drop off where the truck was found?
It was probably less than 10 miles.
So he was close then, but except it was the wrong direction.
And also, it's important to note, he knew what direction it was. He's from Sac City. He wouldn't have gone the opposite way. He was supposed to turn left at the exit, and the truck turned right. I say the truck when I don't think he was driving past the exit, because my detective said that the report said at the exit he turned right, and I think it was 3 or 4 miles, and it took something like 17 minutes. He would have had to been driving 13 miles an hour to do it in that amount of time. So I don't think he would. I've never thought it was him that parked it, therefore he wasn't driving it. I do think something happened at the exit. You have theories, and my theory is someone hit him in the back of the head. I don't know why. I just really feel like someone hurt him, and it went like someone hurt him bad, and then they freaked out and parked the truck and took care of him. That's my theory, because my husband would never not call me. Even without his phone, he knows my phone number. He calls me like he's probably I'm probably the most called wife at my work, because he depends on me a lot, because he's not home a lot. He's trucking, and he's not afraid to call me. He knows it's not a problem, and he's very codependent, like to the point, like I've used this example, true story. I took the kids to the water park this summer with the babysitter's daughter, and he had me paged at the water park to ask me where his razor was.
That's hilarious.
That's
kind of funny.
That's
probably annoying at the time.
Yeah, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me. I know it's something stupid." And I called him. I'm like, "What do you need?" And where's my razor? It's like, it's laughable how codependent he is. I guess my point is we're, we're his life, literally. Like, he works and he comes home. That's it. He wasn't acting strange before. Um, I I'm confident that he didn't know anything was gonna happen because he was in such a big hurry. Joseph asked to "Daddy, gonna give me a kiss? Gotta go, buddy." If there was something going on, he would have made a point to say goodbye to them. He wouldn't have if he would have known it might be his last time seen. You know what I mean? He didn't know. Nothing he wasn't involved in anything.
Other,
I don't
other,
know.
other than the
Some
video that you
women
were
might.
mentioning, sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt you.
you go
Go ahead.
ahead. No, it's okay.
Uh, Other than the video that you mentioned about the gas station, have there been any other video, surveillance footage, anything that might give any clues
Um, no,
or that you?
there was a picture at a DOT. I don't even know where the picture was at the it was a DOT camera, and that's the one I saw, and I thought it would be, not a good video quality picture, and I thought, "Oh, they're just guessing it's him." But in the picture, like, he's looking directly at the camera, and it's a driver's side picture. It's a clear picture of him. It was him driving. I couldn't see if anyone else he never had anyone else with him unless he took the boys with him. He never had a co-pilot or whatever. But, he did take the boys all summer, but he didn't drive with anybody in his truck ever.
Yeah, a lot of truckers are very weird about that too. They don't want to, So,
Yeah.
is there? What about the? Do they check the GPS on the truck, or did it have it? I'm guessing it did.
No, his didn't have it. I think it was a
Okay.
'99,
Oh, okay.
and, it was I don't the he's been he's had quite a crazy life. He got this red truck that he was driving at the time of the incident because the blue truck he had got hit by a tornado. He was in it, and it was loaded. It
Oof.
picked him up and threw him into the ditch. Um, so that had happened the summer before, and he bought this custom truck from California, and he had also had another truck, a yellow one, and um he got that this is like his dream truck. It had like qualities that he wanted in a truck and I don't even, I'm not a trucker. I have my own job and I'm not into I'm like not into cars or semis or anything like that, but it was something he'd always dreamed of. So he bought this yellow truck and was fixing it up and was so close to having it to literally like it needed a light bulb and some wiring, like it needed headlights and wiring. So, I mean, he had goals. It's not like he was depressed or running away from anything. He was like living his best life. We're better off than we ever have been. We're both very successful. Our kids are happy and healthy. This is something he always wanted. Um, I can't I can't say that enough. Like some people think, oh, he was cheating on her. I've heard rumors that he cheated on me for a second time and my family took care of him. And it's laughable. Like it's we I trusted. We didn't lock our phones. I trust him with everything. He would never cheat on me and I would never cheat on him. And then I've heard also that, oh, my brother did it, which I don't even know where they get that. Like Dave got along with my family always. We even when we were going through hard times, every marriage goes through some hard moments, especially when you have children and stepchildren involved. It's hard. And we've been through some hard times, but we've always gotten along with my family and Dave too. We've never had any rifts. I have a very loving and caring family. They're very accepting and, we don't fight. So it had nothing to do with my family for those that and then I've heard also my cousin did it because I have a cousin that got arrested on drug charges. Well, he's got an addiction. I love him, but he's not a murderer. He didn't do anything. It had nothing to do with my husband. His arrest had nothing to do with my husband. So it's been hard. Some comments are hard to read. I've just learned to not look at comments on news articles or maybe somebody else's Facebook if they share it. It gets hard, but I try not to let it bother me. But it is hard. You want to stick up for your family when people are talking bad about your family or, starting rumors about your family. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy, and the internet's a really mean place.
Sometimes, my Facebook page really is what keeps me going. I have people who are reaching out. People from Australia, like on Messenger, that they're not my friends. So I have to go in that one file to read them. You know what I mean? The spam, maybe not spam, chats or something, and messages. And all these people who don't even know me say, I just had to reach out. I've been following you for a long time and I'm praying for your family. I can't imagine, so supportive, and then you have that 0.01% where, oh, she's doing this for attention. Yeah, I'm counting the days for attention. They just want a reaction. And then it gets all my family worked up and my friends. Because, if this happened to one of my friends and someone said that, I'd be on there chewing ass, but they do that for me. And then it upsets me because my friends are upset, and it's not easy. Even
No, it's not.
It's been so long and still it's awful.
I can't imagine what you're going through. And I want to kind of just let the people watching know. And here's the thing. Well, let me say a couple things first to you. Yeah, people on the internet can be really mean and really cruel. And I think that people have a tendency to forget that the true crime moniker doesn't mean that it's for their entertainment. And I think that people need to be reminded that there's real people behind this. There's real families.
Children.
You have kids
my
missing
children
their dad.
Yeah. And they didn't deserve this. He was such a good dad. He wasn't home a lot, but when he was, he made it count, His little buddies, man, he'd tell them, man up, come on, boys, man talk, Schultz boys,
Yeah,
I wish I knew what happened. I don't know.
You deserve to know what happened. Even if he's gone, which I know that's what you believe, you still deserve answers. You still deserve what happened. And I think that also is sometimes once you know, then you can go for justice. And if you look at really recently, Natalie Holloway's mom, Beth Holloway, they extradited the top suspect in that case to the United States, and they got a confession out of him. And he didn't get anything here. They gave him a sentence to run concurrently where he's serving in Peru already. And I'm telling you this to tell you because, and for people to know that she didn't care if she got justice at that point. It had been 20 something odd years, and she just wanted answers.
Yeah. Why?
Why, who, the reasons why, and you deserve that.
Did she get that?
She did.
Why?
Why did he do it? Because he told her no, or because she told him no. And I'm sure you get what I mean by that, but
yeah,
she told him no. She need him where it counts, and he ultimately took her life and drug her into the ocean. And so he's already serving a sentence in Peru for something very similar. And
yeah, it's you're always wanting to know. So I'm sitting here when will I be done grieving this? So even let's say they find him. Well, then I have the question of who did it. So then you find out who did it, and then you need to know why they did it. And it's still, even though it doesn't matter, it's even when they find him, I might not have answers. It might be a while for them to figure out, if they ever figure out what happened to him. But it's a never ending like cycle of me being patient.
I think that it's a lot more than patience, and I think people realize that because you're holding down the fort with 4 children by yourself. What kind of support system do you have for you?
I don't have two. I only have two. My
Oh,
daughter
oh,
and
sorry.
yeah, my daughter is 23, and no, she's 22. Can't remember. And I have a grandson, and they're in Florida. And my oldest is 18. He's a senior, and he lives with his dad. We still, talk, but he wanted to live with his dad. He never really got that chance when he was younger, and so when he was about 16, he went. But it's only in Lakeview, like it's not far. We're still basically in the same town. I mean, um, he graduates this year, and then I have my two boys, Isaac and Joseph, in 4th grade. And it's hard. Like I don't ever get a break in that, and that's fine. But what hurts, like I know I can do it, but they deserve a dad. I'm not a dad. I can't give that to them. And neither can their dad now. And I work full time. I've been at my employer for this is my 18th year. I'm a safety coordinator, and I have great support, at work and at home. So much. It's like I never could imagine like my community would like just surround me. It's so overwhelming, like the gratitude I have. Um, I get cards in the mail, and people have donated money to my city bill. Like I don't even have to pay my bill for probably 3 years now. Yes, they've got such a credit
I'm glad for
at the
that.
city. Yeah, and my church has a piece in their bulletin every month asking for support for me. And I didn't ask them to do it; they just do it. And one of Dave's the class below him sent me a bunch of things, and I've had like strangers send me plaques, and this is angel numbers 444. Like I've got a lot of nice friends through this. Like that's why I say, the internet's mean, but it's mostly good.
There are a couple people in here trying to give some advice and help. I'll show you this one right here. Do you know if you've reached out to Border Patrol, or have you considered calling them? And
No.
I asked while you were talking if they could help, because it was all Iowa and you're not near the border. And her answer, I'll show you what her answer was. It was, where'd it go? Because the story is very familiar to them, they might be able to help. So it might be another avenue if you're not getting it from law enforcement.
Yeah, the United Cajun Navy had helped initially and is still helping. This guy reached out to me, Jake Rowley. He's another one that like he's just an angel, because I wasn't getting anywhere, and I wanted searches done, and the local law enforcement did search, but they have limited resources. So Jake reached out to me, and I said, yeah, I need help, like because I don't know what I'm doing. And the next day he had all these volunteers. I don't even know who they all are, but they ended up searching over 100,000 acres, and they did
Wow,
find
that's a lot.
they found a missing. Yeah, them, and so what they did was like trained our local people on how to do it. They went in groups, so they had like a group leader, and then they assigned them certain areas. It was very organized and meticulous, and in doing this, they got more people to help with volunteer. They got people to sign on so they could be called in to help other searches in the future. So it's kind of a win-win. But they also found a missing man in Lytton. He'd been missing longer than Dave. I didn't even know about it, and they found him during that search. So at least they found, another missing person.
That happens a lot of times with those searches. They end up finding
Yeah, I heard something
a lot
about
of
the one
people.
they searched the river for recently. That college boy, I can't remember his name.
Riley Strain.
Yeah. I don't Did you hear how many people they found during that search?
I live in Nashville, so yeah. They pulled out. Well, they pulled out two, and then down at the Tennessee, once it went from the Cumberland, kind of goes up and then turns into the Tennessee River. A few days after that, they found two more, but they believe they just fell in while fishing. A parent and a child, and
Oh,
then a homeless person fell in. They didn't die. They got them out for safety. But yeah, I mean, I think it goes to show how easy you can fall in that. With Gabby Petito, I think they found like 8 or 9 bodies while searching. It's insane.
yeah.
It's
And I've
unreal.
heard things like, you know, um, human trafficking is bad on the coast, and then it's like just getting to the Midwest. Like it's been bad there, but we just don't know it because we aren't watching their local news. We're watching our local news. I don't know if that has any truth to it. I don't know statistics or anything like that. Another thing my dad said right away could be Mexican cartel or something. I don't know. It could be. I don't know.
But why would they go after him if he was? It doesn't sound like he. I think I can tell you, he very likely wasn't a drug user. I would imagine you'll say no because you get tested as a truck driver.
Well,
So
I don't think that he gets tested unless you're in an
okay,
accident or something like that. But he wasn't. I mean, but maybe
yeah,
they
he doesn't
needed a
seem
good
it.
driver or something. I don't know. I don't know how the cartel works. I'm just reaching because obviously I don't know. In that,
Yeah,
in my mind, that scenario is one of the better ones because he could still be alive then, and maybe he can't contact me because they've threatened his family. I don't know. Who knows? I could be. And that's the other thing I didn't tell you. For 2 weeks, I locked my house. Didn't know because they didn't tell me what they all took out of his truck or what was in there. And they were done searching his truck. Law enforcement were, and I needed the keys to move it from where it was to a storage area. And um, they brought me the one key, and I was like, "Where's the rest of the keys?" And he said, "This is the only keys we got." I'm like, he
weird.
keeps his keys in his pocket. So his whole key ring, our house keys, our car keys, all of the keys he's ever had in his life probably are in his pocket. So I've been locking my doors for nothing. Because if someone took him, they have his keys too. So I had to get all my locks changed in my house. It's just things you don't think of, until you're like, it dawns on you, like, oh, everything in his pocket isn't there either.
I will say to confirm something that you said. Human trafficking has gotten real bad, specifically in Ohio. It's only a couple states over. I know Indiana, it's pretty bad in parts of Illinois, which is right next door to y'all. So it could it come into Iowa? I mean, you guys, bless you, you guys' population, isn't as high as a lot of those states, but could it filter in because they know that for those reasons that there's less law enforcement because less resources because you guys don't have. I would say that's plausible.
Yeah, we don't
But
deal with
Ohio is real bad.
missing people a lot in this area. Um, our town has Lakeview, I think, has 1,100, and Lake under 1,000. Where I live, it's a
For
small
close knit
town,
community.
very very close knit. Like even all my neighbors went around and took a hat around or whatever, and they got me gift certificates for gas and for it's just been amazing. Like, I never would have anticipated. I don't know how to thank everyone. Like, I have literally a box of cards from people I don't know. People, sending prayers and money, which, I'm in a pretty comfortable spot now to where I don't have credit card payments. I have one car payment now, and which is good because we only have one income. I'm trying to explain to the boys too, like, you can't get we got to tighten the belt a little. We don't have your dad's income anymore, and it's not like we can get life insurance. He had no life insurance. We didn't. Who needs that? Uh,
Yeah, but even if you did, he's missing. So
yeah, even if I
you
did,
have to go through.
there's no body. Yeah. So, and I don't know. I haven't looked into it, like how long a person has to be gone before they're considered dead. I think I heard that it used to be 7 years and now it's 3, but I don't know for sure. I haven't looked into it.
I just looked it up real quick. The Social Security says they presume if they've been missing from home and not been heard from in 7 years or more.
So it is 7 years.
It is 7 years, according to Social Security Administration. So yeah.
I don't know. Is it different in every state or not? Do you know?
I mean, I would imagine not, because Social Security is federal.
Federal, yeah, federal level.
So
yeah, so I guess it's 7 years. Yeah.
So I know we kind of touched on this at the beginning, but I want to expand into this this question. You've talked about what the community, the efforts that have been made by the community to help support you. But in searching for him, you've talked about the United States Navy. Talk to me about the authorities with this, as much as that you're able to. Obviously, don't do anything that's going to compromise yourself. The authorities, the community, as far as organizing search efforts, search parties, any type of social media. Do you have a Facebook page that people listening can go join, or things like that? Like what, how's I guess the search for him been conducted to this point?
They did ground searches. They searched around the exit area. I know. The DCI has taken over the case, or I think they both have a case. The Sac County Sheriff's has a case, and the DCI has a case. They're different case numbers, but they don't give me updates. They've sent me questions. In the first few months, they would ask questions, and one time the sheriff's office sent me pictures of people, and I did a quick Google face search, and one of them was a commonly used face for phishing, scams. Another one was another face from. So I'm like, these are not real people. I mean, they're real people, but they're using a fake face. It's not real. One of them was like I found it a Fox News article saying that this is the most used face for. So I don't know where they got those pictures from, or I don't know, but I haven't honestly had many updates. They do have a reward fund for him. I think it's at 28,000 right now.
28.4, I think 28.4.
Yeah, so it's available through November of this year. They have a Facebook page, Sac County Crime Stoppers, but they never update it. They created it, and that was it. They don't do anything with it. We don't. The only Facebook page I have is really mine. I think someone else. I think there might be another, like Dave Schultz missing site. I'm not a part of that. I don't want to, just to protect my own mental health. I don't think I want to see what they're talking about. I don't know if it's good, bad, or ugly. I don't know anything. I don't want to know. It's one of them things where it's not my Facebook page, so I kind of have to protect myself with it. But I have seen it come up in my like suggested groups, but I don't know who started it or who the members are or anything like that. I'm sorry, what was the other question?
No, I mean that was pretty much it. Was like with law enforcement too, as far as searching, and I guess that could lead me to a second question and be like, when was the last time you did receive any tips or anything, or that have they are they still getting tips? Are they checking these tips out?
Sorry, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
I was trying to go to my yeah, I was trying to go to my messages or my gallery. I screenshotted a message because I do get tips, and a woman sent me one. I don't know where she's from, but it was her uncle who I'm trying to do this off my brain here, so bear with me. It's been a long week. Um, her uncle's a truck driver, and he stopped at an exit to go to the bathroom, and someone hit him in the back of the head, and he went down to a knee, and people like there were three people trying to rob him, and then a state patrolman seen it happening and stopped. Like, he drove up and they ran off. I don't know if they ran off on foot or got away with a vehicle. I don't even know if this is true. I mean, I'm assuming it is because this woman said it was her uncle that this happened to, and he screenshotted me the guy's post, and that was just yesterday, I think, last night, and I forwarded it on to my detective because that's exactly what I think happened. I think he stopped at the exit. I don't know why he would have stopped, but he stopped maybe to go to the bathroom, maybe to check something. I don't know. Maybe something came loose. Trucks vibrate, things come loose. I don't know. But I think, or maybe they told him to get out. I don't know. But I feel like someone hit him in the back of the head and it went bad from there. But I don't know. I hope maybe that helps solve it. I don't know though. I've gotten a lot of I've talked to psychics, not recently, but I've talked to like 3, 4 different psychics, but nothing. I don't know that they have. I don't think they have anything yet. Honestly, I don't think anyone knows anything still.
So, do you know if there are any current, like if they're
My cousin
currently
told
making
me.
any efforts?
My
I'm sorry.
cousin told me yesterday that one of the policemen or the detectives that was involved in this with like that I met initially on the first day, um, he told him that he thinks he just ran off. And my cousin's like, I think you're completely wrong. But I don't know if he was saying it to gaslight him or to try to make him say something maybe he might know or something like that. I don't know. But I was like, I'm hoping that he was just trying to get my cousin to say something, but I hope he doesn't think that because he's wrong.
No, I don't get that. I think that people like to use that as a very easy answer, like, "Oh, they ran away."
Mhm.
You're right. I don't
And
anything that I've
okay,
read,
here's the
anything
other.
that I've seen.
He said he has a history of it. Yes, my husband does. He actually did evade the police once, 20 years ago. He got pulled over, refused a breathalyzer. They took him to the hospital and to do a blood draw. And while the policeman was talking to the nurses, he ran out the front door and he was on the lam for a couple months. I don't know how long because it was before me. And at that time, it was 20 years ago. He had no responsibilities, no children, no family, no wife, no girlfriend, no one to answer to. So he evaded. That was his decision as an unmarried single man. You know, that was a long time ago. Nobody's the same person they were 20 years ago. He's living the life he's always wanted. He didn't have that life then. So I don't know if he's just trying to, like I said, like try to get, I don't know, maybe he does think that. I hope not, because it's untrue and he's wasting time if he thinks he's just going to show up because something happened to him. Someone took him.
Yeah, you would definitely know on that one. I don't see it. And by the way, about 20 years ago, I also evaded police. So
And 20 years ago, uh, a lot of people,
I
yeah,
know
we've all made bad decisions. Nobody's perfect, but
the younger
he's
we
not
are,
the
the
same
stupider we
person.
are.
Yeah, and he thought it was funny. But he went, you know what else he did? He turned himself in. You know, he paid the price. He paid the fine. He's a responsible family man. He wasn't 20 years ago.
So one of my followers is in here, and she actually is from Iowa. I'm pretty sure it's from Iowa. And she had a question about, are you able to talk about how long it took law enforcement to search his truck?
So they didn't even take his truck at the day he went missing. When everything was done, they were done unloading the pigs. They had a dog. I don't know if it's a cadaver dog, search dog, whatever, a dog search. And I was like, okay, so what are you going to do with the truck? Because it'd been parked there from probably 12:30 a.m. till they found it at 3:30 p.m. So it had been sitting there for all that time. I'm like, what are you going to do with it now? What happens now? I don't know. And they said, I don't know. I said, well, if you don't know, I get Don, Dave's mechanic, went with me, and friend, not just mechanic, his friend, and he hunts with him like it's his buddy. He talks with him about as much as he talks with me. And I said, well, if you're not going to take it, Don can take it and park it, because that's where Dave normally parks his truck, is down at Don's shop. And so it sat there for 2 days, I think. And they came and took it without telling me or Don. Don wasn't even there. He was on a field call, and one of his friends was there and said, hey, called him and let him know that the police took the truck. They had it for probably 2 weeks, but they did, during that meeting with the sheriff on the 8th, December 8th, he told me, oh, well, we're done with the truck. You can come take it. I'm like, well, where's the keys? Oh, well, Denny's got it, where it was parked at Denny's Texaco locally. And I'm like, okay, well, otherwise it's in the truck. So he didn't know where the keys were. So me and Don go down there. There's no keys in the truck. Denny doesn't have the keys. I had to go hunt down a cop, called SATCOM Center. Where's the keys so I can come take the truck?
That's insane. Like, I'm not
They
trying
didn't
to
know.
laugh. It's not funny.
No,
It's
they didn't
like,
know where the keys were. What the fuck?
makes you wonder how long. I see why she made it. This is a follower who's been with me for a while, and she even says, like, I know this would get you fired up when you talked about that. So, yeah, that's wildly unacceptable.
So when they called
Wildly
me to tell me,
unacceptable.
that they had the keys, that I could come get them, I said, I'm done for the day. You bring them to me. I'm done running around. And so they brought them to me in a specimen bag, which, like, it doesn't make you feel like a victim when they're you know what I mean? I don't know. They need
Just
HR
a little bit of
training.
compassion and common sense. Yeah.
It just made me sick. Made me cry, like, Jesus Christ, he ripped the bag open. Ugh.
I'm gonna pop this next.
And I know
question
that's probably just a personal, I don't know, maybe I'm oversensitive, but it was just rude.
No, you're not. I'm not even in your situation, and I think that that's in bad taste. Just hand you the keys,
Yeah.
Not like it's all right. We're done processing evidence. Here's, especially when you couldn't find them earlier, because I will bet you what they did is they couldn't find them. They dropped them in this bag and then brought them right over to you. So it's like, just bring you the keys.
I know. And my detective said they didn't do fingerprinting either. The sheriff said it works good in the movies, but then why does everyone in the world get fingerprinted when they get arrested if you're not going to check for fingerprints? And my detective said it would have been the perfect place to get fingerprints was on his steering wheel. And I know they were driving it from the exit to where it was parked, but they let every Tom, Dick, and Harry in there. And he said it would have been the perfect place to get fingerprints because it was a flat surface. So it's like, great, woulda, shoulda, coulda, but too late now.
I'm going to throw another question up for you that the same person wants me to ask. It might get you fired up also. But I think that, here's the thing about this. And this is why I'm like, okay, because I think sometimes when you're dealing with investigations, you're dealing with law enforcement, and I'm not saying that all police, all law enforcement agencies are.
And I don't think so either. Like, I respect them.
But when it's, yeah, same. But when it's really, as somebody said, shoddy police work, it's just really like, it's like you're not even trying. I feel like that kind of stuff needs to be called out. So here is the question for you.
Yeah, there was a cigarette. There was a cigarette butt on the ground next to the driver's door when I got there. And my husband doesn't tell them I'll be down in about 3 minutes. My friend. Yeah. Sorry, one of my friends is here. But yeah, there was a cigarette butt on the ground next to the passenger side. And it was like, when you put it out and it bends into like an L shape.
Yeah.
It was like that. And I looked at it and I was in shock. But I thought, should someone pick that up? Like, I remember like pointing at it and thinking in my head, but the words didn't come out. And I thought, oh, surely they know what they're doing. They'll bag that. But I don't know if they ever did. I don't know. Maybe it was because another guy had to get in his truck to start it, to unload the pigs. So it could have been that. Who knows? It wasn't quarantined off. There wasn't red tape around. I asked, can I get in the truck? And they said, yeah, go ahead. And then I put my hand up, and then I thought, this is a crime scene. Don't touch it. Because I thought, surely they'll fingerprint, But that was not the case.
I lived in Texas, and when we first moved there, I had a car that got broken into, the stereo stolen, and the police came out in San Antonio and fingerprinted the car over a stolen stereo.
Yeah.
Well,
I have to get going. I do have company now.
Okay. Well, before you do, let me ask you this. I know you have. I just want to make sure. Well, first, one thing is, if you don't mind, they were asking in here while you were talking, especially for your kids, about an Amazon wish list. So if you want to get with your children and put something together, I know that they would like to do something for y'all. They've done this before. So I'll do that one. And the last thing, because I know you have to get going. What do you need? What do you need that we could help with, other than obviously the awareness? What can we do?
Call. I don't even know. I don't even know what else can be done. Like, everyone's called. People are like, get the FBI involved. Well, you can't just get the FBI involved. We found that out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
State agency above the police, like we have the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Do y'all have something like that in Iowa?
Yeah, the DCI, Department of Criminal Investigations. They're already involved. I don't know what they're doing. I haven't heard an update from them. I think they were betting on everything being on his phone. They still have his phone, but my husband was not electronic. He did not. The internet wasn't there when he was in high school. There was no internet. It wasn't invented yet. Well, it might have been invented, but we didn't have it. But he had to ask Joseph. He just got on Facebook last year in like January, and he there's nothing on his phone. He barely knew how to run it. So I don't know what I need, honestly. Maybe you can tell me what I need, because you interview people who are in my position, and I don't know many people in my position.
I think that one thing that would, I'm not gonna say you need it because you've been doing this at this point, that could be beneficial, is somebody else who's kind of been in your situation to talk to. And so he's always very willing. I'm going to send you, when we get off, I'm going to send you Joe Petito's phone number and seriously call him. He's
I will. Yeah.
really good with it. And I think it helps with healing too. And he can't promise news interviews and stuff like that, but he can at least bring it up to certain people. He's got, as you know, his case was incredibly public. So,
Yeah.
but he's a
That's why I
good
always
man.
said I don't think there's a how to deal with a missing person for dummies book, because
No.
someone should write one. Maybe that'd be, I don't know, a bunch of us could get together
Yeah.
and write
Well,
one.
I don't want to keep you because you're friends there. So I'll go, but yeah, seriously, the Amazon, I'll text you, but the Amazon wish list for the kids or for you even, because I know they don't mind doing things for you too. You're holding a lot of weight on your shoulders by yourself. And so if we can make some of that a little bit easier for you, my community would definitely be happy to do that. And then, yeah, I'll get you with Joe and definitely have a conversation. I think talking to somebody who knows what you're going through can probably be really beneficial for both of y'all.
And if people want to see updates, I do have my Facebook page is Sarah Schultz. I try to update every day. I've been missing a day here and there just because it's getting to be a lot, but I try because I know people worry if I don't post. And but I'm counting the days till he's found, and I'm not going to stop.
And we'll share, and this is going to get out to a lot of people, and we'll repurpose it and put it on TikTok and other places to get your story out again. And maybe we can pick up some steam again, and maybe there can be some additional stories done on it outside of, Iowa.
That sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate. I know we had a little bit of phone tag to make this happen, but I appreciate it, and I hope you have a good night. And we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
I'm going to throw David's picture back up here again. It's a weird case, guys. It's a strange case. It seems like it was mishandled from the beginning. Not fingerprinting a truck, letting everybody up in it, not bagging evidence. It's just weird how it's like the police kind of come out there in some of these situations and say, and like make their mind up on what happened, whether it's happened or not. And it's really trying when you're trying to go through some of this stuff. It's like she's failed. It's like, Riley Strain, they just made a determination and weren't going to do anything until the social media picked it up and started putting pressure. Sebastian Rogers, these are just recent ones. I think they treated it as a runaway at the very beginning for too long that they didn't bring in luminol. They didn't really search the house. They didn't really look outside of the dogs that they brought in. They would go through the house looking for Sebastian by like calling his name and seeing if he was somewhere in the house, but they didn't check the house forensically. So I don't know, guys. It's very, very frustrating. That's another good point. Somebody just mentioned that they called her from instead of sending an officer over, which is just sensitivity, to be like, hey, we found, call his wife from his phone. His phone could have prints on it too. And what do you do when they drop the ball? What do they do? What do you do when they've contaminated a crime scene? It's just, y'all, it's frustrating. These families deserve answers. It's like I said at the beginning of this. Like I know with cops and detectives, they see a lot of this stuff. They probably become a little bit desensitized to it, but you can't, because it's still people's families. It's still people's livelihoods. She's missing her husband, having to hold the weight of the entire household on her. Her kids are missing their dad. And it's just, they don't care. They just don't care. Is what it seems. I'm not trying to put words in their mouth. But, I've been covering these cases for 2-3 years now, 3 years going on. And I don't treat it as just another story. Each person deserves their own individual. It's not, it's not a copy and paste. Each story is different. But the only thing that is similar is that all of these people deserve answers. There's real people, real families affected by all of this. And she doesn't know what to do because she doesn't have a support system to help with this stuff. And he, you know, all the pictures I've seen of him, he looks like just a good, decent man. Show one with his kids real quick. I think I showed this one earlier, but even if he wasn't, he still deserves to be found. But he looks like a good, decent man, a dad. You know, it's challenging. There's so many, and the thing is, there's so many cases like this. They just don't care. Some of them, these are just the ones that become a little bit more popular than others that people take notice of. But it sounds like I wouldn't want to go missing in Iowa. You know? Anyways, here's what I'm going to ask y'all to do. Okay? I'm going to ask y'all to share her flyer. I'm going to ask you to share the story, see TikTok videos. If you make TikTok videos, do that. You know, get the story out there. I mean, hell, you know, I don't care if you're on TikTok and you're a content creator, if you're a content creator here, snap pieces of the video, replay the video. It's not about me. All I ask is just drop credit because I'm trying to grow this channel. And the biggest reason I'm trying to grow this channel is because that way, when I do stories like this, there's more people that can listen and see it. So that's all I ask. I don't need credit. I don't need money. I don't need anything. I don't care about the views. I just want people to see these stories and try to help her, because if she's somewhere, if somebody knows, people, I'll say it every time, people don't just disappear, y'all. People don't just disappear. They are somewhere. In the entire history of mankind, there's only been 2 people to die outside, off of the earth. That's a different story for a different day. It's a very interesting fact of trivia. But there's only been 2. Everybody else has lived and died on the earth. So he is somewhere. So get it out there. Get his missing poster out there. You can donate. I'll put this back up real quick. You can donate to his, to his reward if you want to. This number on here is a little bit outdated. The reward is now up to, I think it's a 28,400 at last check. You can donate toward the reward. So it's just really weird. I just don't get why they don't seem to care. Anyways, I'm going to call it for the evening. Please share this story. I'll probably replay it a little bit later as well, for those who didn't get a chance to see it. But it's sad, y'all. He seems like a good dude. He was, they tried. IVF isn't easy. It's typically expensive. I'm glad they had good insurance, but he wanted these kids. He didn't walk out. Anyways, like I said, next week I'm going out of town. Leaving tomorrow. Next week, we're going to have an interview, hopefully on Thursday. I might have to push it with, as I said at the beginning of this interview, while we're waiting for Sarah to come on. We have for the DB Cooper case, very, very famous call. If you don't know the DB Cooper case, y'all, please, I'll give y'all a synopsis on it now. I'll give it to you before we do it, but it is just a really rad case, and it's not murder, so it's not as heavy. Back in 1971, a guy hijacks a plane for $200,000, which is about $1.5 million today's money, asks for the money and the parachutes, and jumps out of the plane. So it's really cool. It's unsolved. It's been unsolved for 50 some odd years, and they're close to solving it. So we're going to have the lead investigator, detective / expert on DB Cooper on, and I'm really stoked about that. We're also going to have Layla Santinella, who's been missing from Tennessee, East Tennessee, for a while, about a year, maybe a little longer at this point. We're going to have her mom on Saturday. But if I can't do the DB Cooper one on Thursday because we don't get back in time, I'll push it. We'll still do it, either that weekend or the following Monday, something like that. But really, really cool case. And if you want to buy a book, like I said, I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'm going to take some with me so I can ship while I'm down there. But, buy one before I leave, and I'll sign it before I leave. You get it from my website, justontiktok.com. You can actually put type in there an inscription that you want. I can do that. So, anyways, you guys have a great night. Thank you all for listening to Sarah's story. Thank you guys for listening to all of these stories. All these people are in pain. There's too many of them. It's unfortunate there are so many, but thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for caring and being here for them. And like I said, if you're new here, I've been on TikTok for a long time. If you've never seen me before, there I have a platform of 1.3 million people trying to grow YouTube. So please consider hitting, smashing that subscribe button. And I'll see you all shortly. Have a good night.